Hello dear students and welcome. So today we are going to learn how you can use C loops for generating different triangle patterns. So let's start with an example. Suppose our objective is to create a right angle triangle. So this is our objective. So let's start coding. So it starts with hash include dot h, then int main, and let's start doing our code. So the objective is to print the stars in this pattern. So this is the pattern in which we want to print our stars for whatever range the user gives. So as you can see here that both rows and columns are present. So we need to apply two for loops. Now, as we have learned that the outer loop runs for the row and the inner loop runs for the column. So now you can see here with every row. So this is row 2. There are two columns. Row 3, there are three columns. Row 4, there are four columns, and so on. So that means as the row increases, similar is the pattern for the column. So let's start coding this. So we'll begin with n, the range that the user will give, and I and j. So I'm using I and j for two loops. Then printf and the number of rows that is required by the user. Scanf %d comma and %n. So we have inputted the number of rows user wants. Now I will apply two loops, say for I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. This is the outer loop. I will start a bracket, and for j equal to 1 and j is less than equal to I, j plus plus. Now why I have written this here, j is less than equal to I, because we have seen that the column increases with the number of rows. So for the first row, there is only one column, and when it increases to 2, there are two columns. So that's why I said while j is less than equal to I. So when I is 1, so j is 1, and it will run only up to one first location. Only one star will be printed. Then when I equal to 2, so j equal to 1 and 2. So two stars will be printed. So for every row, the number of column will increase depending upon the row value. So here again I will start a bracket. Okay, so these brackets are for the outer loop, that is this one, and this bracket is for the inner loop, this one. So here I will say print f asterisk, and I will give a gap, semicolon, and When I move out of this, so for every row, I need to go to the new line. So printf /n, and before I wind up, so I must say return 0. So this is my simple code. There are two loops, I and j, and I is running till the number of rows user is giving as an input, and j is moving till I. So let's save and execute this code. So I name it as s1.c file, and let's execute this. So as you can see here, it's asking me the number of rows. So let's give it 5 rows, and you can see the right angle triangle. So you can see with the number of rows, the column is also increasing only up to that. So this is row 1, only 1 star. This is row 2. So 2, column 2. This is row 3. So there are 3 stars for 3 columns. 4, there are 4 columns. Fifth row, 5 columns. So that is why we have said while j is less than equal to I. So I hope this code is clear. Let's move on to the next problem. Now, our objective is to invert the right angle triangle. That means now I want my output like this. So I want my outputs like this. So this is an inverted right angle triangle. So let's see how it can be done. So again, in this code, we need to make some changes. The code here will apply some changes. Now, as we have seen that in our case, we are moving from the reverse side. We are moving from the reverse side. That means first 5 stars are printed, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. So we are moving in a reverse direction. So what does it suggest? It suggests that the loop has to be in the reverse direction. So let's see how it can be done. So now I will say that for I equal to n, I is greater than equal to 1, and I minus minus. So I will start from 5 if the user input 5 rows. So I'll start from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this loop, this will remain same. So initially, when user give 5, so it starts from I equal to 5. So the j, the inner loop equal to 1, starts from 1 and less than equal to I, that is 5. So initially 5 stars are going to be printed. So to invert the triangle, we just need to reverse the row loop, that is the outer loop. So let's see. So again, it is asking me for the number of rows. So let's give it 5 rows. And you can see here that the triangle has been inverted. So now you understand that what is the objective of a reverse loop. So this is the reverse loop with the help of which we have inverted the triangle. So dear learners, let's move on. So our next objective now is to draw a pyramid. So the pyramid, so it's like this. So then 3 stars, then we need 5 asterisks, and then we need 7 asterisks. So we need a pyramid structure like this. So you can see that this is the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, and every time, so this is one, here it is 3 stars, in this there are 5 stars, and here there are 7 stars. So that means the number of stars are increasing as 1, 3, 5, and 7. So we need a loop for the row, right? And every time there has to be some spaces, and then we need that for every next row the number of stars are in the order 1, 3, 5, and so on. So this is the pyramid that we want to build. So there will be 2 for loops. So one for loop, say for I equal to from 1 to I less than equal to n, right? And I plus plus. So this will be our initial outer loop. Now this loop represents the row in the pyramid. So if the user gives n is equal to 5, then that means we are going to have 5 rows. Now another loop will be for j equal to. So now we'll start from j equal to I, and again j is less than n, and we'll say j plus plus. Now this j loop we will use to print space, so that the stars, these stars are all center aligned. For this center alignment we need space. As you can see, there are spaces, right? So for this center alignment we need spaces, and this number of spaces that decreases with I. So they will decrease with I. So that is why I'm saying j equal to I, j less than n, j plus plus. That means for row 1, if we look for row 1, that means I equal to 1. So how many spaces we'll have? We'll have 4 spaces. So for row 2, so I equal to 2, I'm going to have 3 spaces. Then row 3, I equal to 3, I'm going to have 2 spaces. Row 4, I equal to 4, right? That means 1 space. And when row equal to 5, that means I equal to 5. That means we are having 0 spaces. That is why we are running this loop to less than n and not less than equal to n. Now we have got the outer loop and the inner loop. Now our objective is to print the star in the format 1, then 3 stars for the second row, 5 stars for the third row, and so on. Now for that we need another loop, and we'll use another loop, say for k is equal to 1 and k is less than equal to 2 into I minus 1. We'll say k plus plus. And here we are going to printf the star. Now we need to look here that what this particular loop is doing. So the formula that is being used here is, it is 2 into I minus 1. So when our row is equal to 1, that means I equal to 1. So how many stars will be printed? So 2 into 1, 2 minus 1, only 1 star. So when row equal to 2, that means I equal to 2. So 2 into 2, 4, minus 1, 3 star. So when the row is 1, only 1 star is printed. When the row is 2, this is the second row, 3 stars are printed. And when I equal to, or row equal to 3 and I equal to 3, so the number of stars printed will be 2 into 3, 6 minus 1, that is 5. Right? So for here, 5 stars are going to be printed. And then when row equal to 4, that is I equal to 4. So how many stars now? 7 stars, as you can see here. The 7 stars are printed. And when row 5, that means I equal to 5, then 9 stars are going to be printed. So in this program, we have got two logic. One is that the inner loop will print the spaces, and we have got one more loop which is going to print the star. So let's see the C code for this. So we are saying that int n, I, j and k, number of rows. So we are taking the input from the user. And then we have got this outer loop for I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus, then brackets, and this is the inner loop. And in the inner loop for, as we have seen, at j equal to I. J is a less than n, j plus plus, and every time for this we need to printf, the space. So let's give two spaces here, and then again a for loop for, that is k equal to 1 and k is less than equal to 2 into I minus 1, say k plus plus. This is our logic to print the stars, printf star semicolon. And then at the end we need new line character, and we'll end the code with return 0. Now as you can see that our logic of k is building the stars, the logic of j is building the spaces, and I is the number of rows. Okay, so let's see this gap, and we'll give one gap only. We'll not give two gaps, otherwise the spaces won't be correct. So one gap is here. Okay, the program is ready now. So let's compile and execute this code. So it is asking me enter the number of rows. So I give, say, 5 rows, and you can see the pyramid. So 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rows. And the number of stars 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So friends, I think this code is clear to you all, that how you can print a pyramid using a C program. Now your objective is to print a inverted pyramid. Your objective is to print a inverted pyramid. Now you will write the code to invert the pyramid. So let's move to the next objective. The next objective is to develop a Floyd's triangle. So Floyd's triangle is nothing but the output should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, and so on. So this is a Floyd's triangle. Now, as you can see here, instead of printing the asterisks, we are printing numbers. So let's write the C code for this. And before that, we need to understand here that these are the rows, and for the column, so 1, 2, 3, right? So it is a continuous formation, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Then 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So numbers are increasing. Let's execute this code and see. So these are our variables n, I, j, and we'll also need one num. Say it is equal to 1. So n, I, j, and num equal to 1. And then we need printf, enter the number of rows, and scanf %d, comma m% n. All right, so we have taken a number of rows, and then for I equal to 1, I is less than equal to n, I plus plus, okay, the inner loop for j equal to 1, and j is less than equal to I, j plus plus, so this is the inner loop now. So we are going to printf %d, comma num plus plus. So every time the number is going to be incremented, right? Because we want it like 1, 1, 2, then so we want it like this 1, right? Then 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, then 7, 8, 9, 10, then 11. So it is in a continuous format, and the loop is running when the row is 1, only 1. When the row is 2, 2 columns are printed. When the row is 3, 3 columns are printed, right? And every time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is continuous. So that is why in our code we are running this j less than equal to I. So when the row is 1, column is also 1. And every time num plus plus. So we have initialized num to 1. So initially 1 will be printed, then 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, and so on. And every time we need a printf /n, a new line character. And at the end, we'll say return 0, and we'll close the code. Now let's save this program. Let's execute this. Okay, semicolon is missing. Let's give a semicolon, execute it again. All right, so now it is asking me for the number of rows. So I say 5, and you can see the output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, right? So if you want spaces, so after this percentage D here, we can give one space, right? So if you give a space here, and let's execute it again. So number of rows 5. Now you can see that there are spaces in the output. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So this is the Floyd's triangle. Okay, so now this was the code to print the pyramid. Now what will happen here, that if instead of printf asterisk, I say percentage %d and I print the values of say I. So this is the same code that we used to build the pyramid. Now I'm saying that instead of asterisk, printf I. So let's execute this code and see the output. So it is asking me for the number of rows, so 5, and you can see the output 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, right? So this is a number pyramid. This is a number pyramid. So in this way, you can experiment with all the codes that I have explained you today. So please go through these codes and try to see how they are implemented so that you are consistent with developing any trees, whether it is asterisks or it is of numbers. So this is it for today. Thank you.